Hi there, I'm Holly McDonald with the Costa Mesa Pod, where we discuss all things concerning the lifestyle, businesses, and activities that make our area such a great place to live. Today I have Christina. She's a repeat guest, and she is not only your local junk hauler, but she's got another talent. She's a musician, and she's got a band, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Solace. So, Christina, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your band. Like, how long has it been around? How did it get started?
So we've been around for a little while now. We started in 2011.
Oh, wow.
Like, what year is it now? 2025. Wow.
That's a while. Yeah.
We started in 2011. We started the band in Texas. I'm from here. I'm from Lake Forest specifically. But we did some traveling, ended up in Texas. We started the band in Texas. And we were there for like 7 years. And then we moved back here. But yeah. It's been around.
When you start a band in another state and then you come here, like, did you lose key people that were in your band and then have to like find new people to be part of the band?
Yeah, so that's kind of why we came back. So our original bass player and our original drummer, they left the band in 2017. And it was my husband and I, and then a couple of his friends were filling in from California. And so they would fly out to Texas and we'd practice for like a day, and then we'd go out on like a 2-week tour in the Midwest and the South. And so we were doing that for a little bit. And then we were like, let's just move back to California.
That's a lot. Yeah. Well, that's really cool. And so since people don't know, probably, I mean, they can follow you guys on Instagram and whatnot, but what kind of music do you guys do?
So it's kind of like hard rock, like new metal. It's kind of like Evanescence, a little bit of a vibe. That was one of my main influences. A lot of our songs started on the piano. I learned how to play the piano and I was writing music. And then when my husband and I started playing together, and then that's where the band stemmed from. So I was a huge Amy Lee fan. So that's kind of one of the biggest influences.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I saw your main cover video or main music video, and definitely has that vibe. And so you're the lead singer, correct?
I'm the lead singer, yeah. My husband does some backup vocals, and he plays the guitar.
So you guys work together in more than one business. How fun.
Yeah, we've been working together for the entirety of our relationship.
You guys get along really well together, so you probably know each other like inside and out. So let's touch a little bit upon, like, I mean, Orange County in particular has a pretty big like band culture. I feel like a lot of bands have stemmed from here that are really, really famous and popular. So was that kind of like a dream of yours perhaps growing up, or like go into that a little bit?
It definitely was a huge dream of mine to be a musician. And in Texas, I got to live it. We got to play some huge festivals we played with Slipknot and Papa Roach and Skillet and all these bands that I grew up listening to. So that was like awesome. It was a really awesome experience.
What's band life like? Do you have any crazy stories?
Oh man,
that you can share.
I mean, yeah, I'm like trying to think of like something off the top of my head, but I mean, just being on tour is just crazy because we're touring in just a van. We put like a little twin bed in the back, and then we would sleep at truck stops and we'd camp, and occasionally a venue would get us a hotel, but that was very few and far between. So we were kind of roughing it out there, but I was in my early 20s when we were doing most of our touring. So it was fun. It was so much fun, and I miss it. And I'm hoping maybe at some point we can get back out there again and do some touring. But yeah, it was definitely an experience.
Okay, cool. And so locally, and so obviously you said you did a lot in Texas. Over the course of your band being around, have you done a lot in Orange County, like live music or anything?
Yeah, and even when we lived in Texas, we played at Loaded Hollywood when it was around. We played at the Tiki Bar. We played at the Doll Hut. And when we moved back out here, we were playing, what's the name of it? There's a place in Laguna Niguel that's not around anymore, but we were playing there a lot. But we played, I think the most recent place that we played was the Doll Hut. We played there pretty often.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, obviously life has changed a little bit. You guys have had a child and everything. So I'm sure the lifestyle takes a little bit of a backseat, but that does not mean you can't get back out there. So do you have any like goals or plans for maybe this year to get back out there with your music?
Yeah, so I'm hoping, I'm honestly just, it was a lot having a kid, having a child. Like, you know, it's been a, let's see. It's been like a challenge, kind of just like finding myself again and then finding the time for creativity. So that's definitely a huge thing that I'd love to do this year, is to make it more of a priority to be able to be creative and write more music. And because yeah, it's been very lacking over the last couple of years while I was pregnant and had my daughter. But I definitely am hoping to write more music, release. We have music that we've been sitting on forever that we still need to release. So hoping to release more music. And we definitely are continuing to, we have a YouTube channel where we're doing acoustic covers. So we try to release an acoustic cover at least once a month. But that's everything that we're doing right now.
I mean, did you write your own music too, or like go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so I write all of the lyrics for our original music.
Nice.
My husband and I write the music together. He's been doing a lot more of the music writing as of late, because I have not played the piano in so long, which is another thing that I really, really want to do this year, is to start making more time for playing the piano, because it's something that I really did love. But it's just, yeah, it's kind of taken a back burner over the last couple of years with my daughter.
No, I mean, I can relate. Like, it is, like, as a parent, woman to woman, mom to mom, like, yeah, there's priorities and other things have to take the front seat for a little bit. But I mean, you're also a business owner, so you're getting that too, and you are on it, girl. Like, you are everywhere. So obviously, there's only so many hours in the day to get to everything. But I can only imagine how much more like inspiration or like just insight you're going to have in your music now, because maybe, you know, the lifestyle is not exactly the same now for you, but you've just got all these other stories to tell and emotions to draw upon, right?
For sure.
That's very cool. As far as like Orange County goes, because the podcast is about, you know, Costa Mesa and Orange County and whatnot, and obviously you touched upon it. Costa Mesa has some great music venues. There are really cool ones throughout Orange County. What do you feel like about Orange County kind of helps to imbibe the spirit of your band and your music?
What do you mean?
So, I mean, Orange County kind of gives birth to a lot of musicians and whatnot. How do you feel like that really played a role in your band?
I don't know. The music scene in Orange County is definitely different than Texas. And I'm still kind of new to it. So it's like, I mean, we've been out here since we moved back out here in 2019, and we started to really get into it. And then, yeah, I got pregnant, had my daughter. And so it's been, I haven't been in the music scene as of lately too much. So it's just kind of hard. I'm like,
no. Who do you feel like?
But most of my music career was in Texas.
Who do you feel like your music most attracts or resonates with? Who do you think is like would be excited to come out and see you guys play when you guys are playing again?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of our music kind of stems from struggles with like depression and anxiety, and so I feel like it really vibes with people that kind of struggle with that, people that have had like mental health issues and just depression, like all of that. I mean, a lot of my music just really comes down to just kind of like finding yourself and trying to get out of that depressiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably would never know that I've dealt with depression, but
not one bit. And I mean, it's okay either way, right? Like, it's great that you don't exhibit that at all, but it's also like comforting and relieving to know that you can be this bubbly and outgoing and seem like you got all of your shit together regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm learning something new every day. So, but that's really inspirational that you can take something that, you know, is probably a burden and be able to use it in a way that like brings joy to yourself and to other people and inspiration. So I love that.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to share about your band that anybody might be interested in knowing? Is there anything about like either the struggles of having a band or just anything that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd say the biggest struggle with being in a band is probably financially, to be honest, which is why we haven't been able to put a lot of time into it. We spent like 7 years really giving it our all, like hoping that we would make it big. And then things happen, members leave, and it's just, yeah, I mean, it's not easy. It's fun, but it's not an easy lifestyle. And like, you have to really be willing to struggle and sometimes struggle. I mean, I know bands that they were together for 10 plus years before they made it big and struggled for 10 plus years. But for me, it's like, I had to make, like, starting a family was something that was really important to me. And so we kind of had to put like our energy into something that was going to make a little bit, I was going to be able to make a living so that I'd be able to start a family. And I love music and I've always loved being in a band. I love the metal thing. I love rock. But yeah, it's definitely a struggle. I don't think people really know like how much people struggle before, like independent artists, how much people really struggle before they actually make it big.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, there's always like the whole starving artist sort of motif, right? Like it's like the passion versus like the pursuit of money. It's really hard to find both. And you guys put a lot of years into it. Like you said, sleeping in the back of a van and all of that. But you're still going at it. Like, I mean, like you said, you put having a child, you know, on the front burner for a little bit, but you still want to get back to it. So that shows that it really is a passion for you guys. Do you rock out in your junk hauling vehicle a lot?
Yeah, no, it's funny too, because it's what's really fun right now is just kind of like introducing our daughter to music, and she loves music. She's all about the piano and the guitar and the drums, and like she loves all of it. And I'm not as active right now with our band, but I still lead worship at my church. I go to Terra Nova in Irvine. And so I still lead worship there, and my daughter's always there for band practice. And she's always clapping after every song and dancing. And so it's really fun to kind of live it a little bit through her eyes now.
You just gotta get her into like Disney or something and let her kick off. That's awesome. That's awesome that you are still able to do that, you know, regardless. And I'm sure your band is going to do some great things because you guys want to do something awesome with it. Who would you say, like, do you have any favorite bands or influences now, like that are more current?
More current.
Or it doesn't even have to be current. I know you mentioned a few of the bands that like you got to go on tour with, but
yeah, no, I mean, I've always loved Lacey Sturm and Flyleaf. She was also a huge influence. Actually, when we were traveling and we ended up in Texas, we met her mom in Arlington, and she like recorded this little acoustic CD for us, and then we continued traveling before we came back to Texas. It's one of the reasons why we ended up staying in Texas, because we just felt like there was like a lot of connections there. And they're from, Flyleaf is actually from Texas, so that was pretty cool. And we used to be sponsored by Cold Cock Whiskey when it was around, but they're not really around anymore.
Oh, that's crazy.
But yeah, like there's so many great artists out there. it's like hard to like pinpoint just one. But yeah.
I think that's a good problem to have. There are a lot of art. And like, I feel like with, Instagram and YouTube, there are even more artists out there than we ever thought that there were, right? Like,
oh yeah, I'm always discovering new bands that I'm like, oh, where'd these guys come from?
And a lot of them are really, really good. So it just goes to show you like either how good you have to be or like how good of a connection you have to really, make it to the top. So where can people find you guys if they want to see some of your music online, I guess, for the time being?
Yeah, so our YouTube channel is where we put most of our stuff right now. It's youtube.com/the Solace official, SOLICE. And then our website is solacemusic.com, SOLICE music.com. We're on Spotify though, and basically you can find us anywhere that you can stream music.
Yes, and then when you guys do have some live gigs, you're going to have to be posting those so that the public can come out and see you. I know some cool spots that I think you guys would be a really good fit at. So I'll be your manager. Let me know when you're ready. Well, Christina, thanks again. You might be my first repeat guest on the podcast. So congrats on that. I might be wrong, but I think you might be. So thanks for having us here. And go ahead and plug your junk removal company again too, because I know people definitely need your services, and I've been very, very pleased with everything you've helped with.
Thank you. Yeah. So our junk removal business is Platinum Bucket Junk Removal, and you can find us at platinum-bucket.com. Or you can just search Platinum Bucket on Google and we'll come right up.
Awesome. Well, yeah, check her out, check her companies out. And Christina, I'll see you some networking stuff.
Thanks, Holly. Good to talk.
Bye.